Hello, class. I thought I would give you a brief overview of the assignment that you are going to be doing this week. I apologize that this is a little late with the change in courses this week. Last week, um, there was a little bit of um, changes, and so this is a little bit late. I do apologize for that. So, in this module, I'm just going to make sure my sound is working here. In this assignment, you're going to be looking at a healthcare organization, and this organization can be a place that you work. It could be a place in your community. It could be a place where you've had clinical, possibly someplace you've visited with a relative, but it's looking at a healthcare organization. It is worth 200 points or 20% of your grade. So um, what you need to do is first choose a healthcare organization. And some of you, this might be easier because you work someplace. If you do not work in another place, I would suggest that you Google a local healthcare community. And what I did, and I'm going to see if I can show you this, is I looked up a local facility um, in our area that I have actually worked with in the past. And this organization is Aurora. It's a big healthcare hospital, many smaller hospitals in the area. And from that information, I was able to look. You can get organizational charts. You can get executives. The other thing I did with my Google search is I added their mission and philosophy. So I just typed in mission and philosophy, and that comes up easily. So all these are pieces of your paper that you can pretty much find on the internet. Um, so again, this is just an overview of how you could go about finding some of the information without actually having to interview a person. So finding your organization is the first thing you need to do. And then you need to identify what kind of organization is it? Is it a hospital? Is it long-term care? Whatever you've decided to do. Then explain why you've chosen this. Is this something that you work there? It's important to you. You're considering working there. So give an explanation about that. You have to discuss the mission, vision, and philosophy. And you might compare some different hospitals. They might vary in their approach, and that might just give you a little bit more insight into the mission, vision, and philosophy of the one that you are going to do. You need to describe their performance objectives or strategic plans. Does that go along with the mission? Now, this might get a little bit harder to do than looking on the internet. So my suggestion is to contact someone within the hospital setting, and especially if you can find someone in nursing. Many times the CEO or the chief nurse, CNO or someone is a nurse. So the highest person up that is a nurse is the person I would suggest that you find to have a short conversation. When you ask them if you could meet with them, I would definitely have my questions all laid out and ready to go. So an example might be, you've already looked up the mission on the internet or have some information. So then you might ask them, how do you see this mission taking place on the floor? Or what is the vision for nursing, or that type of thing. The organizational structure, again, you could probably get that off the internet. Many times places do have a flow chart of who is at the head, board of directors, those kinds of things. We talked about the flow of communication. That goes into chain of commands. So looking at it as a nurse, if I had a concern, who is the first person I would talk to? And then it might be my care manager, the floor manager, who then might take it up to the nursing supervisor, who then might take it up to the vice president of the hospital, or so on. So you can follow that communication either from the ground up or starting at the top and looking down. And then that leads into the next question. Where does nursing fall within that organization? Are they a side piece? Are they considered an equal? It's always nice to know. Is shared governance used? Not all hospitals use shared governance. I know in the town I lived in, Aurora, which is a larger hospital, had shared governance, and the nurses were very able to take part in the decision making, where the other local hospital had no shared governance, and the decisions were basically made through the administration. Again, this is something you might want to consider to look at when you're looking for your nursing job. And then finally, what is the pattern of nursing care delivery? You can base it from your lecture. Basically, the basic types of nursing delivery are the team model, where the RN is in charge of the team, and then she may have a LPN below her passing medications, and then a certified nurse assistant doing the beds, and the nurse RN is the one taking care of the orders, working with the family, working with the social worker, the members of the interdisciplinary team. So she's sort of in charge of that mini team. There's primary care nursing, where the nurse is in charge of the patient all by herself. So she might have 4 patients and she's giving the bath, passing meds, doing everything. There's functional nursing, where everybody has a function to do. And so those are some of the basics that are more listed in your lecture. But you can ask that question. Sometimes hospitals are set up to do one kind of nursing, but over time it's changed to another one. And then you summarize your findings. Is this a place where you want to work, a good institution that empowers nursing, that does have shared governance, or not? Paper needs to be 3 to 5 pages in length, and that does not include your title and reference page, so a minimum of 3 full pages. And then I think you're pretty much familiar with this, that you will have a title page, citations within your text and reference, which are current with APA format, and you're using grammar, English, those types of things. So that is basically how you turn in this assignment. Think of it possibly as a place where you're going to be looking at an institution for possible employment in the future, because really these are things that you want to look at when you're thinking of your employment. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'm always happy to answer your questions. So this will end this recording, and I will play